today is a World War II veteran, and I am very proud and honored to be able to interview Ike Moxom. Hello, Ike. You served in the Army in World War II.
Yeah, 3rd Squad of 3rd Platoon of K Company, 10th Mountain Division.
Italy.
It was the last end of the war in Italy. The last, the division arrived in Italy in January of '45, and the war was over the 2nd of May in '45.
But that was a horrendous.
Hit as hard as they possibly could to eliminate, to end the war.
Ike, tell us some of the stories that happened then.
And, the division losses were 10 killed every day.
Every day?
Yeah, 1,000 killed in 100 days. There was 3 main battles, and I was a replacement, so I only got in on the last one. But after about 6 days of the last push, there was only 13 left in the 41-man platoon.
But you know, you made a tremendous mark just on those last few days. You and many other soldiers.
Yeah, the losses were terrific. You know, even just because it was the end, there was heavy losses. In Italy, at that time, there was 1 million American soldiers and 1,250,000 English. And the 5th Army, American, and 8th Army for the British.
You were fighting a tremendous, tremendous war, because you were literally fighting for the freedom of the world, not just this nation.
Yeah, but the Germans were starting to come to pieces then. Their troops were either kids or old guys over 40, and they surrendered. You get close to them, they give up, but they had SS men with each company that Hitler's own personal guards, and they were all dressed nicely, and the rest of the Germans had worn out clothes and everything else. And when the SS would, when they would surrender, we'd take and knock the SS guy down and shoot him, and they'd all stand and clap.
Well, they were in bondage to their own army.
Yeah, their own troops hated them. A friend of mine was a Jew. His father was, his name was Jacob Mandelman, and he had 2 brothers, he said, in Chicago, working in the junkyard. And after the war, we tried to find his brothers, and they were working for somebody or anything, but anyway, his father represented a big steel mill in Germany. I don't know which one, but anyway, he lived in Poland, and Jake could speak and read and write Polish, German, French, Spanish, Hebrew, and Arabic.
That's amazing. In this country,
and he never graduated from high school. And all of us, see, I was trained as an INR, intelligence and reconnaissance, and they didn't need them. They weren't getting lost like the riflemen were, so they were retraining riflemen at the 1st Rebel. I was there around Christmas '44. It was at the what you call it, well, in Rome and that, at
Bronze Star.
Well, this is a Bronze Star, and they call it a combat good conduct medal.
This is really beautiful, a Bronze Star. What happened when you got that Bronze Star?
Well, this was after the war was over. This is the citation that was with it.
Citations like these become documents now for the Library of Congress for our servicemen who fought to save the freedom not only of this country but of the world. You also have another medal here.
This is Purple Heart.
This is the Purple Heart. Now this came about for an entirely different reason. You have, you have a lot of goodies here.
Oh,
Okay, this is the Purple Heart. Now Purple Hearts are earned for a reason, a very big reason. Ike, tell us how this came about.
Well, I got hit in the hand with a rifle grenade, or rather the rifle grenade hit here, and I got a whole bunch of shrapnel in my hand. And I think there's one little piece still there, but the hand was all bloody. And you can see in that picture there, I think, I got a helmet on, and my hand, yeah, it's hard to see, but it's wrapped up right there.
All right, so that's Ike with the helmet on right below the door. Now this picture was taken when?
That was taken about the 19th or 20th of April.
1944?
1945.
1945.
Yeah.
And this, tell us about this.
There was a 10th Division, but that wasn't a mountain.
Tell us about this battle.
In the morning, when we started to advance that morning, the fog, it was like here, the fog was raising on that, and we started forwards on this, and I looked back, and the guy back here, his teeth disappeared right here, got shot right in the mouth. And I thought, boy, this is no place to be, so I looked around, and there was a little hump in the ground. It wasn't nothing. I grabbed my helmet and got down behind that, and just then the German that was there, they had a rifle grenade launcher on his rifle, and he shot, and it hit just on the other side and exploded, and all that crap hit the back of my hand. I looked, and hell, it was just all bloody. And I thought, this is no place to be, so I jumped up and went like that, and he was only about 30 feet or less away, and so I shot, and he disappeared. And so I ran over to a house, and there was a couple of 3 Germans running like on the other side of a garden, where they were about waist deep down because the trail was worn in. And I saw that, so I shot the one in the middle, and he went down, and the guy in the back, he just sailed up in the air and came down again. They were packing a machine gun between them. And the other guy chill poked him right up. He came down, and they took off running. And so then the company commander was there, and he called me back, and he said, that trench that you passed by, he said, take the half a squad. I was second scout, the first scout, and a BAR man, and the 2 ammo bearers, and a sniper. We went into that ditch there that was the Germans that occupied around this hill, and when we got in it, looked down, the German unit was coming out of the town of Tolly, was the town where we were, and so the BAR man shot the lieutenant and I shot the sergeant, and the rest of them ran in the brush down there. And so this went on for a little bit, and we got situated, and every once in a while we'd get a shot at those down there. And so then after it calmed down a little bit, I went around, and here was this German that had shot at me, so I took and pulled him back and looked, and I hit him right here, right in the forehead. And then I looked at the rifle, and I could see, because he would have the rifle set to shoot at 100 yards, and he shot way low when he shot at me. That saved me from getting hit.
Well, what's so amazing is that, number one, he didn't hit you and kill you as
Oh yeah, it was.
But even more so, you did all this after you were shot with a wounded hand.
Oh well, yeah, but then it wasn't so bad. The aid guy wrapped up a hand, and it lasted, I think, well, till I went out 3 or 4 days later.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So the adrenaline rush after you got shot, you had to ignore your wound and fight.
Yeah, well, yeah, but there were plenty of guys that were getting seriously shot. That, like Senator Dole, he was in another regiment, but anyway, he was hit in the shoulder. You know, one arm was, and I always figured, I think he didn't really realize it. I wrote him and asked him if he realized he was probably hit with a rifle grenade, and he said he really didn't know, but it destroyed his shoulder, you know. He's still alive, I guess.
Did it cripple him up in the shoulder permanently?
Yeah, you know, you've seen him on TV, and
yeah.
His arm just hangs loose like.
Yeah. And that's how you got your Purple Heart.
Oh yeah. No.
Oh, that's the division.
That's a division patch.
That's the division.
Not any special battle.
And okay, let's look at some of these others.
The shooting medal.
So these are medals for marksmanship.
Yeah. Yeah, here's my dog tags.
Ike has a lot of marksmanship medals here and awards. He's obviously an excellent shot, and there's a lot of soldiers alive today because he is.
Here's my dog tags.
This is the uniform that Ike wore when he was in the Army, and we're very proud to honor him today. These are Ike's dog tags, and every soldier's got to have his dog tags. This is so that we can identify him no matter what. The blue medal is a combat infantry badge. He has many things like this. He's got a whole packet of them. But this one saved many lives, including his own.
Just before we got there, a German tank had shot a hole in the wall above those cows, and they all took a bunch of shrapnel. And so when the tank got there, or shot, boy, the M Company sergeant was guarding with a machine gun about 20 or so of these Germans out there. They all started to run, and he opened up and knocked them all down. And when we came around the corner there and to go into the house, that looked like a slaughterhouse floor out there. It was all, the guy's name was Toomey, and he was from New Mexico. And I got in, I went back at the cows, and I looked around the corner, and there was a German out there, and he shot. He missed me only about that far and hit the door jamb on the other side. I pulled back and nothing. Then I know it was Captain Eddie. I didn't see him. He was upstairs. He said, Moxon, is that you? And I said, yep. He'd go out there and shoot them in the head. We don't want any of them coming alive. Toomey opened up on the machine gun and cut them all down. There was about 6 of them big caninas in there. And when the shell came through the wall up above them, it exploded inside. And they would have had to kill all of them. They was all full of holes.
So that the cattle were all full of holes?
Yeah. There was a shell from the tank came through the wall above them and exploded in the inside there and hit all the cows.
Wow.
And then all the German prisoners started to run.
Oh, I see.
And then Toomey opened up on them with the water-cooled machine gun and put them all down.
I see.
And then, like I say, Captain Eddie, I'm sure it was him, said, go out there and shoot them in the head because we don't want them coming alive. But I didn't, and then one of the lieutenants came down and did the job.
Wow. So that's why it looked like a slaughterhouse, basically.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
So it was a slaughterhouse for cattle and humans.
Yeah.
Wow. You went through some horrendous things.
And then, well, then from that afternoon we left and went around and there was a house there and we started up on this hill and we knew the Germans were just way there, and so we started to go up there and I was first. And I saw some movement in the brush and like this, I was going to shoot. Hell, it was I tell you, a woman and 3 kids in a hole. Man, I lucked out there that I didn't shoot.
Wow.
And then we went on up the hill and got around. Some of the guys were up above, and the platoon sergeant, Harry Southard, and the platoon guide, and then I was the third one, and we started up this hill, and there was a German, and of course I think afterwards everybody does it, they always shoot the one in the middle, and the guy in the middle was, his name was Austin, Herman Austin, and he shot him right in the head, the German. And the bullet went around inside his helmet and cut all the straps loose.
Wow.
And then we backed down from that. Like I say, that the next morning when we lined up, there was only 13 left in the platoon.
13 left in your platoon, or?
Yeah. From 41, there was only 13 left alive, or left there. A lot of them were just hit.
And how about the losses on the other side? Did you have any idea how much took down?
Yeah, they were heavy. Well, more really because the Germans didn't have a replacement set up. They didn't bring in replacements. We were up against the 80th Panzer. And that had been in Russia, and they only had 800 men, and then they started out with about 12,000. Got over there before Thanksgiving in 44 and left in August of 45.
It's a long time.
Well, several months. There were guys over there been there 5 years.
Still.
North Africa and Italy, the whole distance.
Under fire, it seems like a longer time, doesn't it?
Well, no, not really. The gaps, you know.
The gaps past the slowest?
Yeah, they might be on the line for a few days and then they'd be off for a month.
And that's when it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it's hard. Tell me about the medical conditions when you guys were wounded. How was that handled?
Oh, you went to the aid station and then let's see, the Well, I went back through it one time. He went to 8th Station, and then what the hell was it? It was they operated there, and then he went to then I went to the 70th General in Pistoria. Then I went down to the 33rd General, and then back to the company.
How about the physical conditions of cleanliness and being able to take care of yourself? Were there any, or did you just survive until you could do it?
You just survived. You got back to the shower once every 2 or 3 months. Got some new clothes.
That had to be hard.
Well, got used to it.
Got used to it. You guys are tough. What about the morale? Was it hard to keep up the morale, or did you guys just feed on each other's
You can't
strength?
imagine. Those guys that were friends then were mighty close.
Well, their lives depended on each other, so I
Oh,
guess
yeah. Yeah.
you know, it's amazing that they stood up to the plate, and that the best boys, the very best boys, are the ones that were sent to the front.
Yeah.
And people often say, well, why did they send our best? Because the lives of our men depended upon that.
Oh,
you can't
yeah.
have unreliable soldiers and depend on them.
Yeah, no, those, well, even, I see my first sergeant was Arthur Shimke, and he's 96 years old. He still drives a car. He lives in Lodi, and he's going full force yet. And his brother was Reuben Shimke, and Art was first sergeant at K Company, and Reuben was a platoon leader in K Company of the 85th Regiment. I was in the 87th, and Reuben's son was Forest Service officer here. And he's retired now. And the trouble is, Reuben's son is Jeff Shimke, is a good friend of my cousin's son. They own a sport fishing boat together and that. And I've seen him. In fact, he stops by every once in a while. And old Art used to come up to fish. Damn it, I never knew that till, you know. Oh, I got to tell you a story about this
feller?
You're right there.
And his name is?
Yeah, John P. Olofson. When we were over at Chaparral, the division or the regiment sent out a bunch of lumber to make a latrine, and the company had a toolbox that had a crosscut saw and a rip saw and a plane and a file and all. And so Olofson, he was the carpenter and I was his helper, and we went out and had this pile of lumber, and we selected it was 20-foot planks, one for the floor, one on the front, and 2 for the seat, and 1 for the back. And then there was some 2x6s to make 3 stanchions for that, and fixed so you could put a canvas up over the top in case it rained and all. So we went up there this morning and got everything laid out, and picked out the 2 best planks for the seat, and laid the others out. We made the stanchions and set them up and put them all together. We laid the 2 seats down, and Olofson, he went and marked for the holes. As I remember, it was 8 holes. But then anyway, he marked them. He marked them out, and we had a compass on. He said, you know, he was finished. He said, if he cut round holes, he said, we'll be here till dark. He said, we'll just cut diamond-shaped ones. So we did, and smoothed the edges all up and everything. So the next morning when we fell out, why, old Arch Himke, was first sergeant, took the roll and all. He said, I congratulate the carpenters on the job they did on that latrine. He said, but there's something I'd like to know. He said, who in the hell did you use for a pattern for those holes? And I tell you, that was so funny. All the guys, I could see them today, leaning on each other, laughing at that.
This is a picture of Ike in August of 1944 when he came home on leave. August 1944 when Ike came home. Ike, your stories have been wonderful. Your courage has been greater, and I want you to know that I personally in America thanks you for serving this country. I want to tell you this. You talk about winning a battle, a war, a time and a place, but what you guys did, you actually saved the freedom of the world.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people,
yeah.
young people don't really realize that it was many countries involved, many lives, and this country wouldn't be free today.
There were Pakistanis over there.
Yeah.
You know, there were the British Eighth Army had some of them, and if they showed you your knife, they had to cut their hand so it'd bleed a little.
Wow. Well, they didn't realize that the tenaciousness and the dedication of our servicemen actually changed the pattern of the future from that point on. Thank you, Ike, for allowing me to interview you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Takes a brave man to walk out that point. Oh Lord, it takes a brave man to walk out on that point. Lord, it takes a brave man to step out there alone. Lord, you walked it there, you're still walking it now. Sent you up the Mekong River to fight the Viet Cong. Lord, they sent you up the Mekong River to fight the Viet Cong. Lord, they sent you up that river